All right, deadlines, here we go. The Muschiettis are delivering season 1 of It Welcome to Derry right now, and viewership is through the roof on HBO. Episode 3 dropping this Sunday. I will have my preview show of it Thursday night. Cannot wait to do that. I love the preview shows. Love talking to you guys about It Welcome to Derry. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What have you liked, disliked, and what do you hope to expect in the coming weeks from this series? I can't wait to find out what they're going to do, but it is a 3-season arc told backwards, and through an interview with Collider, we're learning more and more about what's to come. Hello everyone, welcome to Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel and a fan of It Welcome to Derry, hit that subscribe button. I discuss it and talk about it all the time with you guys right here in the comments down below. Once again, let me know your thoughts. I want to hear them. I love talking about it. Everybody's so different on what they're hoping to see, what they expect, and what they took away from this series. I think because it is that horror aspect to it, like it's a horror show, obviously, but the horror aspect, people take certain different things from each episode with them away from it. And it's really curious to see. And I love reading what you guys think of the show and how it's affecting you guys mentally. Are we going to go crazy with this one going into the season going on? But look, it looks like season 2 is going to come, at least season 2, which we know we're going to get more into the Night Bullet House in season 2. I have a video on that I did a couple months ago. We could talk about that, but we're going to go deeper and further back in time as this series goes on, and that sounds really awesome. And I just, the architecture of the show is astounding to me. And I say we're probably going to get those other seasons because judging by the Hollywood Reporter's viewership numbers of 5.7 million cross-platform viewers in the first 3 days alone of episode 1, the third biggest debut in HBO's history. People are already hooked on this. Pennywise isn't just back. He's bigger and better and badder than ever, and he's not even here. We haven't even seen him yet. But let's get to the real story, the architecture of this trilogy. The Muschiettis told Collider that the series will unfold in 3 eras. Season 1 in 1962, Season 2 in 1935, and Season 3 in 1908. That is definitely not random. That's a full timeline of Derry's cursed history, peeling back layer after layer of the entity known as it. And Andy made it clear. There's a reason this story is told backwards. He said there's a very clear end goal and a reason why we decided to tell the story and specifically tell it backwards. And if you know the lore, that makes perfect sense. It has always been about cycles, 27-year rhythms of violence and disappearance. But what the Muschiettis are doing here is turning that pattern into a full-blown structural device. Instead of moving forward through survival, we're moving backward through trauma. Each season takes us closer to the source. Now, in the book, Stephen King's placed the loser's childhood story in 1958 and their adult return in 1985. The Muschietti shifted for the films, making it 1989 and 2016. And now the prequel shifts things even more. Welcome to Derry takes place in 1962, a few years after the book's original childhood timeline. That means the earlier cycles we know from the King's novels, the Kitchener Ironwork explosion, the Bradley Gang massacre, the Easter egg hunt tragedy, all slide forward in time. It's still the same cyclical horror, just shifted to film continuity. So if we map that out, season 1 in 1962 would be Pennywise's second to last awakening. Then season 2, set in 1935, would cover the previous cycle, the one that in book canon aligns roughly with the Bradley Gang massacre. In King's version, that happened in 1930, when a group of outlaws tried to take refuge in Derry and were slaughtered by townspeople and by something else watching from the shadows. In the show's adjusted timeline, that event could still serve as the heartbeat of season 2, not through scenes, but through tone. It's the Depression era. The world's broken. People are desperate. And Derry's rot is thriving. We might not see the massacre as King wrote it, but thematically, season 2 would explore the idea of Derry as a community that's complicit in its own horror. People doing the monster's bidding without even knowing it. That's how it works. That's what makes it terrifying. Then season 3 in 1908, that's the real origin point. In the book, that's when the Kitchener Ironworks explosion happened. an industrial disaster that killed over 100 children during an Easter egg hunt, one of the most haunting events in Derry's fictional history. If the Muschietti stay true to that timeline shift, 1908 becomes the foundation, the point where Derry's evil stops being myth and becomes legend. That's when you'd explore the creation of the curse, not through a single event, but through how a town learns to live with its own darkness. Andy said repeatedly that they'll preserve the mystery, that we'll learn more about its nature and intentions, but the entity itself will remain unpredictable. That's key. Season 3 isn't about explaining the monster, it's about showing how humanity and supernatural fused into one ongoing nightmare. And what I really like about all of this is that Andy Muschietti has said that the entire 3-season story has a clear end goal. That means we're not just watching isolated time periods. We're watching a cause and effect loop play out in reverse. He even teased that there's a trick in the finale of season 1 tied directly to why it's told backward. So imagine the emotional punch that's coming when we finally reach the beginning of the cycle and realize that it's not just about the entity, but about Derry itself. The Muschiettis are setting up a mythology that mirrors the book's structure, a series of repeating traumas, but told like peeling layers off an onion until you hit the raw core. Barbara Muschietti told Collider the finale would destroy us, that it's emotional, not just scary. That fits the pattern too. It has never been about horror. It's about memory, childhood guilt, and the way evil persists because people choose to forget. So by going backward in time, the Muschietters are forcing us not to forget. Every season is going to be a regression, a confrontation with an earlier wound. And by the time we get to 1908, we're not just witnessing the birth of Pennywise, we're watching the birth of denial itself. The moment Derry decided to look the other way. Now, tie that creative vision to those Hollywood Reporter numbers, and you can see why HBO is all in on this. Welcome to Derry isn't just breaking records, it's proving there's a massive audience for serialized horror with real mythology behind it. 5.7 million viewers in its first 3 days, nearly all from streaming. That's not casual viewership, that's appointment television in the age of algorithms. It means the Muschiettis built something that connects across generations, people who read the book, people who saw the films, and now a whole new wave of horror fans discovering Derry for the first time. So when Andy Muschietti says there's a bigger arc, I believe it. This isn't a one-off origin story, it's a planned saga, a generational descent into madness, told in reverse. It's the kind of structural risk that could redefine how horror works on television. Then, the Muschiettis aren't explaining fear. The Muschiettis aren't explaining the fear. They're unwrapping it, layer by layer, season by season, until all that's left is the heart of darkness itself. And if the first season really ends the way Barbara teased, leaving us destroyed, then that backward march through time is going to feel less like a prequel and more like an excavation. A dig through decades of denial until we finally hit the core of what makes Derry and it eternal. So Pennywise might not be on screen every minute or at all, but his shadow covers the whole thing. And the fact that HBO is treating this like a prestige-level storytelling, not just jump scares, proves that it Welcome to Derry isn't just a hit, it's the beginning of a horror empire. Collider nailed it. Nothing in Derry is what it looks like. Not the past, not the people, not even the timeline. And when this 3-season plan finally clicks into place, we're not going to understand it. We're going to understand why it never dies. And I'm absolutely loving this show. I'm one of those 5.7 million viewers, and I'm going to be watching it again Sunday. I'm going to have my preview show, like I said. I have my review after every episode, theory videos in between. I'm loving it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. How do you think this is all going to wrap up and end? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Hit that like button and subscribe. But until next time, may you be the master of your own universe.